Hey, my name is Uwihoreye, a consultant for a global business strategy consulting firm. Now manufacturing is on the agenda. Axim will build a manufacturing plant in Vietnam in order to facilitate sales in India and China. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the key considerations involved in moving the manufacturing arm of the company overseas, how I anticipate it will affect the efficiency of the supply chain, and the Acme's plan to offshore manufacturing, some of the primary risks and benefits associated with offshoring, a major branch of a company. Keep time and watch. As this video introduction suggests, offshoring means moving some companies' operational activities to foreign countries. People have been criticizing this business strategy, saying that it moves job opportunities to outsiders instead of staying in the home country and hiring nationals. According to China Briefing 2014, the state of manufacturing in Vietnam has been almost the same as that of China for the last 10 or even more years. This happened thanks to the low wage, low tech, low added value manufacturing that acted as a magnet for foreign investment into the country. This is a consideration that we need to put into effect as Acme employees, making sure that we invest in a country imposing low wages on employees, in a country with high technology, in a country with low added value manufacturing cost. Many foreign investors with existing China operations are actively inquiring about the payoffs of moving to Vietnam. They are considering moving from China to Vietnam because the manufacturing costs in China are going up. We need to make sure that we move to Vietnam to benefit from this opportunity whereby manufacturing costs are low. While China increases the value chain manufacturing, Vietnam is taking over by doing it different. Vietnamese manufacturing sector has recently grown up at a compound annual growth rate of more than 9% between 2005 and 2010, and today accounts for 25% of gross domestic product. Vietnam has become a single market and a production base thanks to being part of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Economic Community. The Vietnamese government encourages manufacturing through special zones featuring lower corporate income tax rates and limited duration tax exemptions. This is a good consideration that we need to think of. If we are looking forward to investing in outside the country, we need to make sure that we invest in a country that imposes the lowest income tax on our imports. Foreign investors in Vietnam also benefit from favorable tax rates on corporate income, 22%, and dividends that are 0%. With the plan stated to lower the tax rates on corporate income to 20% by this year, 2016. Wages are far lower across Asia's manufacturing hubs. This is a consideration that we need to put in our mind and make sure that we make a good decision favoring us by us deciding to invest in a country whereby the tax rates are lower. Speaking of another thing that we need to think of, in Vietnam, operational and labor costs are absolutely lower in comparison to China's. The Vietnamese government has been empowering the development of technology, mechanics, information and communications technology, and pharmaceuticals. This is a good consideration. If we invest in a country with developed technology, mechanics, and information communications technology, this is a good consideration that will help our business activities run smoothly. However, lack of unifying standards between Vietnamese private and public education systems has resulted in a shortage of skilled workers in the country. This is an effect for us as Acme business employees, whereby we experience shortage of skilled and experienced workers. This is a threat to Acme that we need to think of before expanding our manufacturing plant in Vietnam, bearing in mind that we will likely spend some funds keeping the local employees with the necessary skills. According to TY Consulting in 2013. Many Western companies have invested in China for the last 20 years. These companies used to be drawn by Chinese low production costs and enormous domestic consumer market. However, the maturing economy, rising wages, and disappearing tax incentives have brought about problems, and these companies are looking for other countries to expand to. According to James Lee 2015, manufacturing in China isn't as cheap as it used to be. This is why we need to move to Vietnam as the best place for our business activities. In China, the supply of young workers is declining gradually due to the one-child policy, and potential candidates are no longer interested in factory jobs as before. Wages in China's private sector increased 14% in 2012, according to the country's National Bureau of Statistics, which makes it less competitive than Vietnam in terms of attracting foreign investors. This is a good consideration. We need to go to Vietnam to make sure that we benefit the opportunities offered by the government, whereby we can benefit from the employees who require less wages than that of China. However, the problem of unskilled employees is something we need to talk about to find a solution that will implement when investing and running our manufacturing plant in Vietnam. Thank you very much. This is Jean-Claude.